Good morning everyone, and welcome to this video in which I will talk to you and explain the good functioning of the IONIC framework that I will review with the help of different modules. First, I will give you a short introduction on the usefulness of IONIC, what it's used for with a presentation, and secondly, its functioning with practical explanations by explaining its advantages and disadvantages. So, let's go for the introduction. What is the IONIC? Well, it's a development framework that is widely used and that allows you to save a lot of time in order to design cross-platform mobile applications. To develop a cross-platform mobile application has never been an easy task. Indeed, besides the fact that there are many different phone models, there are different operating systems. The most famous of which are Apple's iOS and Google's Android. The difficulty appears at this moment because it's necessary to develop on different OS operating systems and to take into account the different versions. You also have to test your application on a lot of phones. Finally, you will often find yourself with as many versions of your application as the number of existing phones. This means a lot of time and money spent. That's why in 2013, IONIC was born, which is an open-source framework for developing applications for smartphones. Specifically, it's a set of components and tools to be able to develop more easily mobile applications working only on Google Chrome. IONIC will use tools like HTML5, CSS3, and JS. It integrates other frameworks like Angular, React, and Vue. To use native components such as the camera GPS or even the smartphone Vibro, IONIC uses a system of library and plugins compatible via Apache, Cordova, and Capacitor. For example, if you want to use the smartphone's camera, you will install the camera plugin, and in your source code, you will just have to call the relation functional that will allow user to take a picture. You don't need to know the operating system. The IONIC application will take care of it by calling the function that will call the corresponding plugin that will allow the user to access his camera. IONIC allows to operate on different operating systems. It will only take one source code to run your application on either iOS or Android. It's also possible to deploy on your smartphone in order to debug. However, there are some problems. The IONIC application will tend to be slower than a native application, but IONIC has greatly improved the performance of its framework and continues to do. Achieving a specific functionality can be more complicated because you won't necessarily find a plugin that fits your needs. Nevertheless, even if IONIC contains some small disadvantages, IONIC allows you to save a considerable amount of time for the development of your application in a dynamic way. And this is what we will see and understand together during this course. So that's it for the introduction.